Here is the review of the Figma Kyoko Sakura from the anime show Puella Magi Madoka Magica, or just simply Madoka Magica. And if you don't know what Madoka Magica is, it's an anime show, and it's only 12 episodes, and it was released in 2011. And also the show also has its own 2 movies, which are just adaptations of the show. And the first movie is called Madoka Magica Beginnings. The second one is called Eternal. And there's also a third movie that's called Madoka Magica Rebellion. And Madoka Magica Rebellion is the sequel to the TV show. And also, they're also coming out with a 4th movie, which is going to be a sequel to Madoka Magica Rebellion. And it's going to be coming out I'm gonna say it's gonna be coming out this year, because all I've seen is the trailer of it. So I'm hoping it's gonna be coming out this year, but there is gonna be a 4th movie coming out, and it's also on Netflix. And I don't know if it's still on Netflix. I think it might be. And there is more that I had to say, but we'll get to that to the end of this video. But onto the figure here. As you can see, Kyoko is in her magical girl form. So let's get a closer look here. You can see the paint apps on her eyes here, which look crisp and clean. And also, all of the paint jobs on this figure that I can see are very well clean. And I don't see any mistakes or no splotches. It looks all crisp and clean on her. And she does have a little fang, which is her tooth here that's painted in white. And as for her suit or dress here, it looks really nice. Has a lot of white on it. And also on her chest here, which is this red and gold paint here, this is called a soul gem. And what a soul gem is from the show is that they need this soul gem to survive, because without the soul gem, or if the soul gem gets damaged, then they're dead. So in other words, the soul gem from the show is part of their body, and Kyoko here is one of them. And you could see she does have these like sleeves on her arms here, which are nicely picked out in paint. And the little bracelets here. With some, and if the camera can focus, there we go. And you could see that there's some black painted, what looks like buttons right there. And here's the other side of her arm here. And her skirt here does have some white paint on it. And some pink on the skirt itself. And some more white paint on these dress parts here. And the back of her, and she does have the red hair, and on the top of her hair she does have a little black bow tie here. And this top part of her head, as you can see, is made out of a soft rubbery material, and I'll get to why when we get to the articulation. And if I move her hair out of the way, here's the rest of her back here. And going down to her legs here, you can see she does have the black socks that are painted, or well, yeah, she does have the painted in black socks here. And her boots here do have some white paint on them. And yeah, just a really cool looking little figure by Figma. And yes, this figure is made by Figma, the same company that made the Common Rider Dragon Knight figure, which I have reviewed. And for articulation, her head can rotate, but the hair does limit it, but you can move it up and out of the way, so that way her head can move a lot better. And she can look up only about that far, but she can move down about that far. And she can move side to side. And her hair does have a hinge joint here, and it can swivel here, and it can move side to side. And this is why this top part of her hair is made out of a soft rubbery material. So that way this is not hindering it. Arms can rotate all the way around, and they are on a ball joint. As you can see right there. But they can move in and out. Bicep swivel. Elbow. And her hands can swivel and can move up and down on a hinge joint. And her torso is on a ball joint, but it is really limited. Because if I turn her around, she does have a little cutout here for her torso to move, but it is kind of tricky to do. And her torso is, well, I think it is made out of a soft rubbery material. Yeah, it is made out of a soft rubbery material, but it still does kind of hinder her torso articulation. But it is on a ball joint. And these dress parts here do have a hinge joint here. And these do move on these two joints here. You can see right there. And they do have a swivel here and also here. So she has two swivel joints. One here and one here. And she does have a ball joint at the waist, ball joint at the legs, and the skirt is made out of a flexible material. And she does have a thigh swivel, but it is kind of really stiff on mine. But she does have a knee joint here, which almost looks like a double jointed knee. And her feet can move up and down, and she does have an ankle pivot. And that's it. So you can get her in a lot of poses. But some of her dress parts are kind of hindering it. Now for accessories. just like with all the other Figma figures, she does come with an included sandwich bag here, so you can keep all of your accessories in this one bag here. You can see right there. And she also does, of course, come with an included stand, which is right here. And it does have a swivel here, and it does have 3 hinge joints here, here, and here. And this peg is where you would plug in to this hole on the back. But unfortunately, mine does not plug into that hole, because the hole here on mine is not really big enough for this peg to fit in. Oh. Yeah. It's not big enough. But I did had on mine, I did had this little piece here, and this peg is where you will plug in the exact same hole on the back of her, but it's still, well, the hole is still not big enough for this peg to fit on her back. And the way you would attach this is this peg goes into that little hole right there. So you can rotate this all the way around. And she does come with some alternate hands. The ones that are on her is the closed fists. Yes, the closed fists. But she also comes with well, of course she does come with this little rack here where you can put your hands onto. But the hands that she comes with on this rack is 2 open hands here, 2 of these hands with a tighter grip, and 2 hands with a looser grip. And she also comes with this hand that's in this pose here, like she's grabbing onto something. And I'll get to what this hand is for. Well, I'll just go ahead and show it to you now. But what this hand here that's in this pose is meant for you to have her hold onto this guy here. And this is named Kyubei. And Kyubei is like this little cat thing, and getting closer on him. And yes, Kyubei is a he. Not a she. But in the show, he was speaking like as a female, but I've heard some people say that this is a male. But it kind of does look like a female cat thing. But getting closer, look on Kyubei here. You could see her eyes are painted in, and yes, I'm just going to go ahead and call this a she, because in the show she was speaking as like a female. But the paint apps on her eyes here, and she does have these like ring things on her ears here, and on the sides she does have some pink paint on the inside of her ears, as well as some pink paint on these dots here, and some more pink paint here. And on the back, you do have some more pink paint on this O shape here. And her tail here. And the tail does rotate all the way around. And her head is on a ball joint. And that's about it. And this is where the hand that had this pose to it, and I'll go ahead and get it out. What you do with this hand is you would slide this little groove into Kyubei's ear here. And I'll go ahead and get Mommy's or Kyoko's hand off here. Oops. Well, what you can do is you could have Kyubei, like Kyoko is grabbing by Kyubei's ear and lifting her up. So it looks like this. It is kind of a pain to do, but once you get the hang of it, you're good. And she does come with some more alternate hands, which I'm going to show y'all right now. as if I can get them out of the box here. And that is these kinds of hands. This hand here is holding what is a Japanese snack, and these are called Pockies. And what they are is they're breadsticks with chocolate frosting on them. And there's other ones where there's, like there are ones with strawberry coating on it, and there's also cookies and cream one. And you can pop off the hand and replace it with this, like she's ready to pull out one of the Pockies and have her chomp on it. But she also comes with another hand holding another Japanese snack, and this is called the Taiyaki. And as you can see, it's a little fish here with some purple paint on the inside here. And she does come with two little breadsticks of Pocky. I'm just going to remove one of them. And here's what it looks like. And yeah, as you can tell by the size of my finger, it's really, really small. But as you can see, whoop, I didn't lose it. I didn't lose it. As you can see, there's the chocolate coating here and a little breadstick here. And there is more for this. And that will be one of the included faces. And she does come with a total of 3 interchangeable faces. The one that's on her is the happy Homura or Kyoko face here. But she also comes with an angry face here, and it does have that same painted in fang here for her tooth here. And she also comes with one that's meant for one of her little Pockies that I already showed you on my finger. And this is the one right here. And this little hole here is where you would stick in one of the little Pockies. So it looks like this. And to swap the faces, you would remove parts of her hair here and then remove her face and then put on either one of the interchangeable faces on. I'll just try this one here. And the last accessory that she comes with is this spear or staff, however you want to call it. And as you can see, it's longer than she is. And getting closer look here, I will have to move Homer or Kyoko out of the way so y'all can see. So as you can see, it does have some nice, like, I think that's a greenish, brownish paint on the handle here, but it does have some silver paint on the bottom part here, and for the top here, it does have a lot of silver paint on this part with some red in it. And this is really, really sharp. So be careful of this. And this does come separate out of the box when you get it out of the box. And that is, this part does remove. From this peg and that hole right there. And another thing that this can do is I am going to leave this off because you do also get, I have these in the little cases here, so that way these don't get lost. But you do get these things here and these chain parts. And one of these chains, as you can see, does have this little silver thing, which is this here from the bottom part of this spear thing. And I'm only going to show you one of these. Like, one of these things and one of these things here. So what you would do with one of these chains is you would take either one of these pegs and plug them into this hole here. And then take one of these things and plug it on. And you would also do the exact same on the others. And you do get a total of 6 of these things here. And you also get a total of 7 of these chain things. So you can have them like this, if you want. I'm only going to do it with one of these. So now I'm gonna put this back on. And that is all of the accessories. I think I've got everything. And it looks like I did. So, final thoughts. I really like how this figure turned out. And that this is an older Figma figure for its time. And it still does look great today. Like with all the other Figma figures. And I do like how all of the paint job on this figure is really crisp and clean without any mistakes on it. But my only problem with it is getting that gripping hand in this pose to slide into Kyubei's ear is kind of a pain to do. But once you get the hang of it, you're all good. And another issue I have with it is some of the parts of her dress does kind of hinder her articulation a little bit. And everything else looks really great. Now, before I end this video, now some of you may be looking at this figure, and some of you may be saying, why are you reviewing an action figure that looks like it's made for little girls only, or women? Because if you haven't watched Puella Magi Madoka Magica, I would highly recommend you to watch it. Because the show or the movies, it is kind of girly, but not too girly. Because there is a lot of dark moments in it. And I'm gonna read to y'all something that I just did a little bit of research of. And it won't take long. It says here, Puella Magi Madoka Magica appears to be a cute animated show for little girls, similar to Sailor Moon. But it's full of dark moments and imagery that is more suited for teens and adults. Witch characters are very creepy, and there's a lot of violence between girls and witches, and sometimes between girls themselves, including beating, stabbing, and well, that there is some of that. But there is a bit of language in it. Just a little bit. So yeah, from what you heard me said, Madoka Magica is not too girly. Well, when you watch the first 2 episodes of Madoka Magica, it seems like it should be for little girls. But when you get to episode 3, that's where things get really, really dark. Because one of the characters from episode 3 got killed by one of the witches. And no, I'm not talking about the witches like the witch from the Wizard of Oz, where they fly on a broomstick and have green faces. No, I'm not talking about those witches. I'm talking about the witches from the Madoka Magica show. So yeah, if you haven't seen Madoka Magica, I would highly recommend you to watch it. It is so good. And also the movies. But anyway, that's been my review of the Figma Kyoko Sakura from Puella Magi Madoka Magica, or just Madoka Magica. And if you like this video, give me a like, comment, and subscribe for more. And if you want to check out some other videos you may have missed, there's a playlist set up on my YouTube channel. So I think that's about it. So thanks for watching.